In case you didn't know what MGTOW is all about, listen up. The mainstream media, along with social movements that promote de facto inequality, lack of morals, and the decay of the so-called developed nations, limit their strategy to label it as a misogynistic, anti-women, radical, and separatist movement. There is not just a gender war, but also a war on men, masculinity, and free thought. On top of that, it's obvious that free speech is nothing but a utopia, but I have already covered that in a previous video, so let's keep things simple. Contrary to whatever narrative the establishment uses to criminalize MGTOW, this philosophy is helping thousands of men break free from social norms and live happier. MGTOW, short for Men Going Their Own Way, is an online social community and backlash to a female-centered society where men renounce interactions with women and seek to define and live out their masculinity on their own terms. It can be regarded also as a philosophy that encourages men to get back their own power and recognizes the right to say no to whatever or whoever does not add any value. For example, most modern-day women. Stay tuned because you're about to learn the core details of this mindset, how it's benefiting men, and why some social groups despise it. But before we go deeper, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to JM. He said, "Men, focus on your education, health, good food, read every day, swim at least twice a week. Men, focus on controlling your words, emotions, and reactions. This is what I relate to my own son, be a better you every day." Well said, Jam. I completely agree, and thank you for sharing those words of wisdom. Now, I do also want to give a special shout out to Darth Nexus. He's always the first to comment, and I really appreciate that. I just wanted to say that because it does help the channel grow. Shout out to you for being a loyal subscriber. But as usual, guys, I will pick one comment from each video. It may be the funniest, the most liked, or one that touched me, so don't forget to leave a comment and you may be our next winner. Now, back to the video. Embrace your masculinity. Since the traditional life of marriage and kids does not look like a viable option for men today, MGTOW is gaining more adherents. Men are increasingly getting tired of social expectations, double standards, and disrespectful women. Multiple men already consider that this philosophy is the tool that will help men fight for liberty. Even though many women and brainwashed men believe that men going their own way spend their time jerking off and playing video games in their mom's crib, well, just that, I mean, the reality is quite the opposite in most cases. Most MGTOWs have experienced the inequality before the law many women wanted to fight against. Costly divorces, and false allegations among other extremely complicated circumstances. As a natural consequence, these men concluded that staying single pays more dividends, and other fellow men are wise enough to learn from other men's mistakes. Some men say that we haven't lost respect for women because there are simply no women to respect. That's a very bold statement, and although not all women are like that, I do agree that in Western countries, as well as other developed nations, not many women are marriageable. Since women have a lot of options these days, especially with social media platforms and dating apps, it's easy for them to have access to casual relationships. While some men just want some quick action as much as these women, other men are disgusted by brutally high body counts and prefer keeping their blood free of other people's DNA and diseases. Look for microchimerism to know more about what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's see how you can put the MGTOW principles into practice so that you can benefit from this genuinely liberating philosophy. Even though many women want to be men, climb the corporate ladder and become the boss, MGTOWs are far from convincing them to be stay-at-home wives. MGTOWs don't want to change social hierarchies, but rather enjoy themselves in their inner world by building businesses, their own bodies, their careers, etc. The point is building because that's the masculine imperative. If women want to be like men, what should you do as a MGTOW? You just let them be. Don't help them, rescue them, change their flat tire, or fix anything unless you're getting paid. Let them brag about being independent while they can't change their flat tire and hire a man to do the job. Instead, focus on your purpose, build yourself, hit the gym and/or do sports. If you like, you can also work 80 hours per week and transmute your horniness and mundane urges into creative power. Other men will try to follow social norms like chasing women and getting huge debt to fund their cars just because they want to impress everyone else. Value is not determined only by your possessions because, come to think of it, possessions mean nothing if you have to get them by being a slave to credit and debt. Many men prefer being really wealthy and stay away from showing off. MGTOWs, as you can see, are far from being totalitarians, and in fact, they don't go on rallies to protest, take statues down, or cry for more government control and public spending. Men going their own way don't want to change the system, but rather prefer being sigmas over alphas. They love being independent and living life without giving explanations to anyone. MGTOW is not a homogenous group because they don't subscribe to any particular ideology or creed. The baseline statement is opting out of marriage, avoiding unnecessary trouble, and living on one's own terms. In some cases, men in the MGTOW community might want to have a girlfriend or even have some girlfriends, but don't even think of signing a marriage contract. They might even want to have a kid without being a husband, by means of surrogacy. Again, these are just exceptional cases, but the common denominator is not getting married because the financial and emotional burden in case of divorce is brutally taxing. The rule is no marriage contract and no cohabitation. MGTOWs fight against gynocentrism, or in other words, the female privilege that plagued today's society. Many people just believe in concepts like the wage gap or the male privilege while overlooking the evidence. Both public and private institutions favor women over men. Just think of the quotas enforced to help women to get certain jobs. MGTOWs are also hated by masculine women who claim that they fight against gender roles and even pick-up artists. In fact, MGTOWs believe these two groups are treating women respectively as commodities or prizes. Modern ideologies brag about liberating women, but in reality, they have made them either corporate slaves or simple slaves to multiple trends. Some modern women want to wear whatever they feel like to the point of being extremely provocative and attention-drawing, but don't want to be objectified. It's like they want to have their cake and eat it too. They wear less, go out more, and expect respect from decent men? At the end of the day, these women get no respect and a whole bunch of men who just want to bang them but don't even consider a marriage prospect. Despite all this decay, there's hope for men in the MGTOW community. As you can see, the basics are very solid, and several men with very distinct points of view are happier than ever. Movements like MeToo and political correctness are waking up many men. It's hard to say anything and not offend someone. Bump into an unstable woman and you're doomed to be falsely accused or manipulated. Many men fall into the trap of accepting any woman who comes their way just because they have few options. Instead, be the opposite. If you want multiple women, but no commitment, go for it. Be always respectful, of course, and don't let them trick you into thinking you're working too much or not paying them much attention. If you are more into the Sigma lifestyle or simple singlehood, go for it too. Men in MGTOW do not force any other fellow men to think the way they do. They just share experiences with each other and encourage real diversity, which, by the way, is a virtue other social movements cannot show off. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? How do you live your life as a MGTOW? What does MGTOW mean to you? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you will get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, comment and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.